Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all the praises, honor, and the glory unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Double honors to the apostles and then to the elders of Great Millstone. GMS for telling me this truth. Honors to the brethren in the Akim out there that is pushing out this truth with all sincerity and in faith into Wadi Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, for allowing me once again to come back with another lesson. And the title of this lesson is simply going to be titled Knowing the Terror of the Lord. Okay. And this is a lesson. This lesson is coming from a conversation that I had with this individual who I used to go to, the same school with a long time ago, and we had ran into each other and, ended up hanging out later on that day. And this individual had mentioned around the words of, some two kids that I went to school with, but I wasn't really never hung out with them. Like I wasn't a part of their clique or nothing. At that time I was in sports in high school. I had my girlfriend who later became my wife later after high school. It wasn't really part of their clique, but I knew about these kids, and they were telling me around the words of like it sucked when they died, and in my mind I was curious. I was like, wow, I didn't know that they had passed away, and so I had asked them. I was like, well, how did they if you know, or if it's too touchy of a conversation, I get it, but like, how did they pass away? It was these two kids. One kid, I think they both died at like, I think one turned 18 and the other one was just turning 17. So they were pretty, they were young, and they had told me that, and the first one, the first one was bad. Then they told me that around the second, what happened to the second kid, and it got, it just got me thinking, like, the Most High, he is terrible, and this is why he ought to be feared. That's why I titled this "Knowing the Terror of the Lord." So, anyways, they had told me about the first kid. I believe his name. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just, their names. One of the kids' name was called, I believe his name was Talon, if I'm not mistaken. And mind you, both of these kids, as far as I'm concerned, were Edomites, And the first kid, Talon, he was in a car. Both of these were car accidents, okay? And the first kid, he had been in the passenger seat, right? Mind you, there's two individuals in the front, two in the back. And he's in the passenger seat, and there's a woman driving. Mind you, I know this chick that was driving, not well, but I knew of her. And I guess she dropped something in the car, right? And she had told the kid sitting in the passenger seat to, hey, hold the wheel while I grab this, right? And mind you, that's kind of a dumb thing to even ask, knowing that you're behind the wheel. Like, hey, I could ask you to grab this for me, but I'm going to try to do it. You just hold on to the steering wheel while I have my foot on the gas. Stupid thing to even try to even do. But they did it. And she had thought, they said something that she like dropped a vape and, she wanted to grab it. So she told him to hold on to the steering wheel, grabbed it, and then on her way up, she like sprung her head up and hit his arm that was holding onto the steering wheel. And they had the wheel turned, and they ended up rolling the car like 4 times or whatever it was. It was like 4 or 5 times, they were telling me. And I'm like, damn. But mind you, the kid that was sitting in the passenger seat, he had flown out of the windshield. He went straight out the windshield because he didn't have his seatbelt on. Maybe if he had a seatbelt on, he may have lived. He probably still would have been all fucked up, but he would have maybe had his life still. But he had flown out of the windshield. He didn't have his seatbelt on. And one of the kids in the back, I think he was on the like the goal after high school was to, go into the medical field and be a paramedic or whatever. So he had experience of, doing CPR and things of that nature, certified CPR certified, I think it's called. And surprisingly, he was, able to crawl out of the back seat window and, see that his friend was, that had flown out. He was he was all messed up, and he tried to, he attempted CPR on him, and he ended up, he tried for like a minute or so, and he stopped because, you're doing the CPR on his chest trying to get him to breathing, and all that was happening was making the situation for him, the kid that flew at the windshield, a lot worse, because all the blood was coming out of his mouth, clots of it, and when I'm being told this story, I could visualize it, blood's coming out of his mouth, he's coughing up all kinds of blood, he's bleeding through his eyes, his nose, his ears, his head, and he ended up, by the time the paramedics had gotten there, he was done. He's dead, and the craziest part was, right, I guess after that, they had cameras in the car, like some people have like dash cameras, and they have, cameras in the car, and then they were able to retrieve one of those cameras and saw all that what happened. And this person was telling me, like, they saw the video, and he flew out the windshield and his brain splattered everywhere. Just a just a terrible scene, and he ended up dying, and that was, I was like, damn, like, the Most High, he really is terrible, terrifying, And that's why I said he's to be feared, man. You gotta fear him. You must, and that's only that's not even a fraction or of anything what he is capable of. Our power, YAHAWASHI, his ways are limitless. You hear of car accidents happening all the time. That's just a common thing. The Most High, he'll plague you, he'll afflict you, he'll do some things to you, especially for those who are not in the know or don't fear him. And then I heard that story and I was just like, damn. And the second to last story, I don't want to just ramble, but the second kid, his name was Tristan, right? And he had this one was a lot worse because Most High judged the whole family, because he was driving, and it was a 2-lane highway. We got cars coming towards you, and you're going towards cars as well. And he was, I guess, that night before, he had gotten really drunk, and he's probably still hung over as hell, whatever. And he uh he ended up like swerving into the lane a little bit. Mind you, his stepmom, I believe, I think it was his stepmom, was sitting in the passenger seat, and his 2-year-old, or his two brothers, they were young, maybe 5 and 6, some of the children, and he had ended up swerving into the oncoming traffic lane and went head on head onto a truck, and going like 70, 80 miles an hour. And his mom died I want to say his mom died instantly. She had broke her neck in like several positions, broke her neck. She was hanging out of the window after they crashed. Then the two little boys, they had their seatbelts on, but I guess just the impact of the collision had it to where when they hit, the seatbelts were like around their neck, and then ended up decapitating both of them. So mom's neck snapped, she died. Those two little boys in the back uh, got their heads chopped off by the seatbelts, like their heads were hanging off. Um, and then the driver, the kid who was driving, he had went head on head, and the steering wheel and the engine like impacted his body, and he was alive for like maybe 5 minutes. And I guess from the waist down, the steering wheel and the engine had cut him in half, literally. And they didn't know that, and when they pulled him out, they basically ripped him apart, not even knowing. His legs are completely, cut off from his body, and he's breathing. His body's probably in shock, and he ended up dying. Then they had like I don't know why, but they had an open casket for him. His arm was missing. His half of his body, they didn't have his legs in the coffin. That part of his body was just destroyed. And I was just like, damn, like that's a real horrific judgment, that befell that kid and his family. Especially the two young kids, getting their heads chopped off just by the seatbelts that they were wearing. When I heard that, I was just like, damn, and that's what got me to make this lesson, because I was told this, a couple of nights ago, and I was just like, wow, that I didn't know that happened to those kids, and these are kids that I didn't know, but I went to school with, and I was just like, damn, he is he is terrible, and he is. If you don't fear him, here, that's the thing, is that if you don't fear him now, real soon, when the Most High brings all his wonders, and when he really starts to turn this movie up, really get the things popping, you gonna fear him in this day. You gonna fear him when he comes, when he sends all his wonders, when he sends his judgments, when he brings these evils upon this world. If you don't fear him now, you gonna fear him, all right? But this is 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. It says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, we persuade men. And that's what we do, man. We try to tell you people, like, because the world has been told, and even us brothers, before we came into the faith, we thought that God, the Most High, he loves it. Oh, he loves you. He just love. He just loves to love. All he does is love. That's what we, at least for, when I was growing up, that's what I was told. Growing up in the churches, and but then you later realize, when you come across the truth, the real truth, this truth, is that it is far from the case. The Most High, he does love. But hey, as great as his majesty is, that's what you have to worry about. His judgments are just as great as his love and his mercy, his compassion. And that's the balance of our power. He is beautiful and terrifying all at once, and that's why we try to persuade our people to, hey, if you don't fear something, at least fear this. Fear the man. Fear the one. The one that's able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Okay? And it says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto the Most High. And I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness. You see? Because that's what we try to tell you. We try to persuade you, get it in your head, like, hey, you better fear him. You got to fear the Most High, man. Because hey, you're talking about a God of power that had flooded the entire earth. And if you don't fear that, then you got something coming for you, man. Or at least the Most High got something special for you. But this is verse 10, and it says, this is Matthew 10 and 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but it says, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. You see that? And that's what the Most High does as well. You could have a child come into this world born, and they're in a messed up, jacked up body. You have all these. You could probably look at them now and find craziest or most bizarre, birth defects. Like, that's, the Most High has you be born into a body that's like all jacked up, man. And then based off the two stories that I told you, hey, at least the second one, that's what got me. I was just like, hey, the Most High, he don't care who you are, man. He does kill and he does make alive. That's for real. Matter of fact, let's Deuteronomy chapter 32, or was it 32 and 39? And see now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. You see that? And that's the theme, man. your best interest for anybody, especially if you're an Israelite, is to fear him. Okay, you must. That's the beginning of your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding. You know that, and the understanding that the Most High, He does not play, and especially in the times that we're coming into, He ain't gonna be. He hasn't been playing, but He definitely is gonna be playing in these last days. Okay. Let's grab this. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 6. Check the comma board real fast. Shalom to the brother Angel Pelia, and the brother Enos. Let me grab this. And shalom to the brother Enos as well. This is the book of Job, chapter 31, verse 30, or chapter 31, verse 3. Is not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? And see, man, hey, when you hear stuff like that, and this happened in this town that I live in now, and kids that I once went to school, high school for me was like 8 years ago now. But just to hear those stories, I was just like, wow. And and then I always, I don't know for brothers wherever you good brothers live, but there's certain highways that you take and roads, and you'll see like the cross and the memorial, and I always see them around town, and I didn't realize that those were those kids that had been put to death for, and basically, that was there where that's where they met their end, and it was just like, man, and that's just a car accident. Those are in the Most High. That's a basic. I mean, I wouldn't say it's basic, but that's not. That's only, you can only imagine what else He is capable of. And like I said earlier, His ways are limitless. He'll make up the Most High can manifest some crazy stuff and take somebody out. But this is 1 Samuel 2 and 6, and it says, and the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. See, so Most High, He's in control of all things. Okay. Let me grab this. This is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah 45, verse 1 and verse 5. And it says, and I am the Lord, this is Isaiah 45 and 5. I am the Lord, Yahawah, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I gird thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know. It says that they may know from the rising of the sun, from the west, that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, Yahawah, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. And that's what the world is about to be put into reality check. Is that, look, God, the Most High, He does it all, the good as well as the terrible. All right. And see, we're coming to that time where the Lord, He's gonna make it known that he ain't messing around. That's the thing. You people in this world, man, you don't even know what's about headed your way, man. You have not a clue. And by the time it hits you, you ain't gonna know what hit you, man. Just like when they got into those car accidents, they didn't know what happened. All they knew is that they didn't know nothing, They were, when they gave up the ghost, they appeared right in front of the throne of YAHAWAH SHAM YAHAWASHI. All right. And that's the time we're coming into, where the Most High, He ain't gonna be, he ain't gonna be playing. All right. We're coming to the time of trouble such as never was. All right. And that's why we need to fear Him. All right. Because that fear in which we have, if you have it, this is what is the benefit of having the fear of the Most High. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus 1 and 12. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. You see that? So that is one benefit of the Lord, fearing the Most High, fearing Him, that you'll have joy, you'll have gladness and a long life. Okay? Whoso fears the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and is created with the faithful in the womb. She hath filled an everlasting foundation with men, and shall continue with their seed. To fear the Lord is fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the garners with her increase. The fear of the Lord is the crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are gifts of the Most High, and the largest there rejoicing to them that love him. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, standing, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life. See? The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. And that is why we ought to fear him. All right. But I'm basically gonna end it there through the Spirit. Just something that was on my spirit, after hearing those stories, and that just crossed my mind, like, hey, that's why we persuade men to fear him, to fear the Most High, especially in the times that we're coming into, man. Fear him, love him, walk in all his ways, and serve him with all that which lieth in you, to the best of your ability, unto the end. All right. But I'm gonna go on ahead and end here through the Spirit. I pray this lesson was edifying, exhorting, and comforting. And as always, I want to give all the praises, honor, and the glory unto YAHAWAH, BASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BASHIM, HARAKAK, BADASH. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Honors to you, brethren, you Akim out there, that's pushing out this truth with all sincerity and in faith, and to YAHWAH, BASHIM, YAHAWASHI for allowing me once again to come back with another lesson. And it's on to the next one, brothers. Shalom.